I like the way this looks. I don't know why, and if you don't like the way it looks, that's okay. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. Everybody likes what they like. And again, I'm not trying to be the expert. I'm not trying to say this is the way it's done. No, this is just the way I do it. And that's okay. You know, like I don't like scary babies, like, you know, zombies and scary babies, mostly because I just don't like scary things in general. I like edgy things, and I like things a little dark. I like dolls that look like they have been played with. You know, missing a patch of hair and maybe missing a couple of fingers, and, you know, just aren't perfect. To me, the value is in the fact that they were just a really super loved object. I think that's how I put it. I love objects that are loved. I don't like them to look scary, but gosh, I wish I could remember. There's an artist, I can't remember what her name is, who makes this cute little alien silicone baby that I just love so much. It's all floppy and it has these tiny little eyes that are far apart. If I can find that artist and find her babies, I'll put a picture of it right here and give her a shout out, because I love her babies. Hey everyone, I am back. I've been kind of busy. Let's see, what have I done? I got everybody's heads painted and ready for some rooting. I'm gonna have a little bit of this bubbly water. I love their flavors. They're so yummy. They make my mouth happy. So let me show you what I have been up to. So we got Lavender Awake all painted, and I did a satin varnish, which I'm kind of curious about. Look at it, wasn't shiny at all. Did not seal up skin yet. I'm gonna wait till the whole baby's done, meaning tips, toes, everything, and then I will go ahead and varnish babies and then root them. And I'm thinking about using, for the first time, using this. Every reborn artist I know has sworn by this, so I might try it on one baby, see if I like it, and if I do, I can just do the rest of the babies. That's gonna take a little bit of time to dry, but I don't know, it's a nice warm day, maybe it won't take too long, but I don't do a lot of air dry, so this would be my first time using that product. What else? Oh, let me grab eyes. I'm going to be putting these glass gray eyes into Lavender here. And I have Joanna Awake. I think she turned out so great. I am like totally loving this baby. Sometimes I make a baby and I think to myself, ooh, I might keep that baby, but I never do because I really can't. That would just start a whole snowball hoarding thing, and I don't have room in my life or house for that. So that's how she turned out. I'm gonna do a little top rooting of some soft dark hair up here. Her lips look great. I haven't glossed them or anything yet. That kind of is for last. I tried some hazel eyes. It just didn't work out. I tried some really chocolatey brown glass eyes, and I don't know, it wasn't her. So I'm going to give her some of these glass gray eyes also. Let me pop one in real quick so you can see. I think it looks really, really pretty. And they're kind of that baby gray, and she's a baby, so it works. So I'm gonna do that. I love those glass eyes. Those are actually Bountiful Baby's eyes. They're reasonably priced, and they're really nice. Here is Jenny. I think she turned out great. There's her hair. Hope you can see. Let me get these limbs out of the way. There we go. So there's Jenny. And Alma, she turned out super cute. I was going to do her and Jenny's super, super light blonde, and I did start to do that, and even with Alma, at the last minute, I just took all the paint off and started all over again. I don't know what it is, but, and it's not that I was struggling with the blonde hair, it just didn't look right on her. It wasn't like making me happy, so I took it off. And Mick, I didn't do as many layers of hair on him as I did on all the other babies, just because his head is so small, and a baby this tiny probably wouldn't have a super thick head of hair. So I just gave him a couple of layers of hair, and then I'm gonna root him in some light brown with maybe a little bit of blonde here. I think he's pretty cute. Look at those lips. And Priscilla, she came out a little more brown than I intended, but I kind of like her skin tones. Her limbs are still lighter than she is. I just stuck them in the oven because I just did the nail beds. And when it comes out, if it still doesn't match quite well, I might do another brown wash on her limbs. I don't usually put any washes on at this stage, but something just isn't like matching up perfectly. So those are the babies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of those babies. Let me grab some limbs. I am today finishing touches. I have mixed limbs here. I don't know where I have this baby's legs over here. I don't even know who that belongs to. Who is that? Jenny. I sound like Forrest Gump. Jenny. There's Jenny's. Yeah. So I need to do Jenny's. I need to do Mix, and I need to do Alma's. And these are Joanna's. They have not been sealed yet, but I think they came out pretty nice. I really like this color. I ended up at the very last minute doing a lavender wash over the top again, and it kind of cut some of that yellow. I like it, but I'm not sure everybody does. So I try to find a happy medium place. And what I'm doing today, and pardon my hands, they're dry and itchy, but that's just part of the job, right? We just have to power through, power through. So here's Mick's little hand. It's very pink. It looks good. I don't think I do a lot of changes there. I think what I'm gonna do is just get him some nails. Get his nails did. You know, doing it pretty simple. These are all kind of newborny kind of babies, and they don't really need complicated. Their nail beds are so tiny. They don't need super complicated nail beds here. I'm just doing a little bit of this pink. I'm not painting moons on these babies. They're kind of small. I don't think they really need them. But what I'm doing is I'm painting some pink, but excluding the area where there would be a moon. So it's paler there, but I'm not putting in the moon. And I'll let that dry a bit while I get to these other guys, and then I'll put the little French manicure on. Do kind of a flesh tone nail bed, and I try not to make them too thick, but if I make them too thin, they wear off pretty easily, and then there's no nail bed at all. So I just, again, just trying to make me happy and everybody else happy. And I'm guessing that, you know, having a little manicure on a baby isn't going to be a deal breaker for a baby. It wouldn't be for me. Maybe it is for other people. But I also think that having neat nail beds kind of ties everything together. I don't know why this foot looks so much bluer than the other foot. These toes are a little on the purpley side. I might need to pink these up a little bit before we go in the oven. Let me take a look and I'll show you. This is the time when I kind of look at baby. Here, let me show you before I fix. Do you see how this one has a lot more blue and this one's very pink? And this is a good time. These are the final bakes. So this is a good time for me to just go in there and make any little subtle changes that I want to make. Take a look at all the details. Again, after this, after I get the nail beds on, I'm going to varnish them. Get them a little bit, toes are just a tiny bit pinker up the top. And as I'm varnishing, I can take a look one last time and see if there's anything that might need doing. By this time, I should be okay. But you know, sometimes you miss things. We're just humans. I like these pink toes. These are good. Okay. So those are kind of mostly dried. I'm just getting some baby skin and a super, super skinny paintbrush. And I have a little, I call it water. It is not water, it is thinning medium, but in my brain, I use it like if I were painting with acrylic or watercolor, that would be my water. And so I don't mean to confuse anybody when I say that. I mix on my cat because I'm lazy. And so this lighter color here is what I'm doing nails with. You would think that you would use white, and I guess you can, but sometimes it's just a little too bright for me. Ooh, I'm using the wrong brush. I want this little skinny brush. And I want this paint a little bit on the thicker side because I want it to be super opaque. I want my nail line to count. I don't want to do this over and over. And a little helpful hint from the baby kitchen is when you go, after you're done putting your nail tips on, and you're going to take your baby to the oven, be really careful about how you handle them and how you load them. Make sure their nails are up because these little tiny nail beds get worn off and you're going to just drive yourself crazy if you open up that oven and think, woohoo, I'm almost done, and all your nail beds have come off because they rubbed up against the side of the oven or on your shirt, or they clanked against each other. So I'm not doing a super thick nail tip. I'm just going kind of thin, and each nail is different. They don't all need to be the same. Babies don't have manicures, right? I remember when my kids were babies, and they had, if you've had kids or taken care of kids, you know that when they're newborns, their nails are all peely. They're just not even real nails. They're almost like thicker skin, and they just peel off. And with my son, I had clipped his little fingernails with the baby clippers when he was little, and I wasn't wearing my glasses, and I had gone down too far, and I didn't know it. And he was crying, so I was nursing him, and I looked down, and the tips of his fingers were bleeding. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you what I felt. I cried. I was nursing him and crying the whole time, kissing his little fingers. I mean, you know, it wasn't all his fingers, but some of them I just had cut them too tight, and I realized the reason why I was crying was because his poor little fingers probably hurt. From that day on, I didn't use the clippers on him anymore. I always overdo it at the end. Again, I'm just a weirdo for lots of color. I like it. This is the kind of tedious part of the job, all the little tiny details. And sometimes they're details that nobody ever sees or pays attention to, you know? But just in case, you want to make sure that it looks nice.